Welcome to the Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is another in my postnatal yoga sequence to work specifically on a diastasis recti. It doesn't necessarily have to be postnatal that the diastasis can happen. It's any time where you've undergone a stretching of the belly and a shrinking back in of the belly. So what happens is the rectus abdominis muscle, which we think of as like that muscle that helps us do sit-ups, that six-pack muscle, when we gain weight and our belly gets bigger for whatever reason, that connective tissue that kind of runs right down the middle of that muscle stretches as well. And then when we lose the weight and our belly gets small again, that connective tissue stays stretched out. So if we keep doing sit-ups, if we keep doing these rectus abdominis strengthening exercises, what happens is that the muscles start pulling even further into that connective tissue that runs down the middle, and it makes it worse. And eventually it can lead to back pain. It generally leads to a feeling like that your core just isn't present, like you just don't have that kind of stability in the belly. Sometimes it's purely cosmetic. It doesn't really cause any functional problems, but it doesn't hurt to strengthen your core and figure out how to move in a way that's not going to cause more of that stretching or even tearing of that connective tissue. So that's what this sequence is all about. And when it comes to kind of crunches and bicycle moves, if you've got a diastasis, my recommendation is not to do those. Not to do them until that diastasis has been fully closed, which I'll show in a second how to measure it and how to know if you've got one or not. Fully closed for at least 6 weeks, maybe even longer. And to be honest, those aren't the most functional core exercises anyway. They don't tend to actually help decrease back pain. In fact, more often than not, they can cause it. So bicycle crunches, things that strengthen that six-pack muscle, generally not the best for the body. But that said, we're going to find some core exercises and some yoga that's going to be great for your belly, great for your body, and great for cats too. No, I'm just kidding. Not recommended to be done for cats. So what we'll do is we're going to come onto our backs. And as you come down onto your back, you're going to go ahead and let your knees drop in so that your hips can relax, and you're going to place both hands on your belly. And from here, you can close your eyes and just feel the belly rise and fall with the breath. And right from here, before we do any kind of work, before we ask anything of our belly, we're just going to send it a little bit of loving kindness, compassion, love. And we're going to ask our belly to be soft. Contrary to popular culture, which can make us feel like we want rock hard abs, that we want this like hard, skinny little belly, bellies are made to be soft. They're made to be mobile. They're made to be breathed into. A healthy belly is a soft belly. And that's not to say that we don't want some strength there, but we want to be able to get that full relaxation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find out if you even have a diastasis. If you do, how big is it, how wide, how deep, how long, all of that stuff. So it helps to get right on skin. So I've got one. I've had 3 kids, and my diastasis has been going strong after all 3 of them. But I've been really working, now that I'm done having kids, on getting it closed down. So it's gotten better. But what you'll do is with your fingers, you're going to first find your belly button. And we all have a diastasis at our belly button. We all have a little opening of the tissues there. And then you're just going to feel with your fingers just a teensy bit up from the belly button. And then you're going to do what I've told you not to do, which is kind of a crunch move. You're going to lift your head. And as you lift your head, you can feel maybe kind of right above that belly button a little dipping inward. That's the diastasis. That's where it should, the connective tissue should be straight across. But when we engage that rectus abdominis muscle, if you've got one, you'll just notice this little gap, this little kind of divot between them. And you can, with your fingers, feel, oh, how high does it go? For some people, it goes all the way up to the sternum. Some people, it only goes up an inch or so. You can feel how wide is it? How much room can you get? Kind of 1 finger, 2, 3, 4. I mean, some people can even get quite a bit of spread in through there. And you can feel how deep down does it go? Is it about kind of 1 fingertip, whole knuckle? And it's not about kind of judging yourself over how big it is. my diastasis is bigger than your diastasis. None of that. It's all just knowing kind of where you're at, because we'll measure again at the end, just sort of informally with our fingers, and see maybe by doing some of this core work, maybe we've strengthened that connective tissue a little bit. Even in one session, it can make a difference. So now, we're going to start out with some good old-fashioned pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, you're going to rock your pelvis forward, and you'll feel your lower back arch a little bit away from the floor. As you exhale, you're going to rock it back. So moving with the breath. Inhale to rock forward, and exhale, rocking back. Moving nice and slow with the breath, and feeling kind of that feeling of just gently opening through the belly on the inhale, gently drawing in and up on the exhale. You can imagine on your exhales like as if you were wearing a pair of jeans that were a little too tight, or as if you were wearing kind of, I know it's a terrible image, but that idea of a girdle, that just idea of drawing inward without constricting the throat, without kind of closing off your whole body, just that little drawing in feeling. Inhale to open, exhale to gently draw in. If you want to add in a mula bandha on the exhale, that lifting of the pelvic floor, that can help too. That'll help engage the core. Inhale to open. And then exhale, go ahead and relax. So now that we've gotten things moving and we've gotten that feeling of drawing inward, now we're going to see if we can get that same feeling of engaging those core muscles, but without the pelvic tilt. So now you're just going to find that nice relaxed neutral spine, just a little bit of curve in your spine, and you're going to get that feeling of drawing inward. Find that, sometimes we call it a pelvic brace. We're going to draw inward and we're going to breathe, so that we're not holding our breath, we're not tensing our shoulders. Let the shoulders, the jaw, all of that stay relaxed. And then from here, maybe you just stay with this. Maybe you just draw in and breathe. This is a great place to hang out. Or if you feel like you'd like a little more challenge, we're going to inhale, let the right knee drop open like a half Baddha Konasana, a half bound angle, and then inhale back up. And then exhale, the left knee is going to drop out, and inhale back up. And the challenge of this is not what the knees are doing. The challenge of this is to maintain that pelvic brace, to feel that core control, that drawing in feeling. And you can even, you don't even have to do it under your shirt. You can just feel it over your shirt. If you can feel as you do this, that diastasis separating and growing bigger, it means you've gone too far. And that's true of any of these movements, any of these asana or exercises, that if you can feel the diastasis kind of getting deeper, wider, longer, bigger, it means you've gone too far. Too much. Rewind the video. Just stay with what we did right before that started happening. So that's always a good reality check. Good moment of satya, truthfulness. What's happening with your body? Nice. And then from here, maybe you want to stay with these, or maybe you want to see what it feels like to do a little inhale, lift the leg, exhale to reach, inhale back, and exhale down. Inhale, lift, exhale, reach, inhale back, and exhale down. Just moving with the breath. And again, the whole time we're engaging that pelvic brace, but we're not holding our breath. So that's why we kind of breathe with the movement. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And you can go at your own pace. And again, feel your belly. If it feels like that connective tissue is flattening across, good news. If it feels like it's dipping in, bad news. And then from here, go ahead, take it once more on each side, whatever variation you're doing right now. And coming back down. And then from there, walk your feet up so that your heels are right under your knees. And we're going to roll up and down for bridge pose. So we're not going to do a really deep back bendy bridge pose. We're going to do a rolling bridge. So you're going to roll the tailbone under, inhale, peel the spine up one vertebra at a time. And then exhale, roll it right back down. As you lower down, really try and feel that sort of vertebra by vertebra walking motion of your spine. Inhale, peel it up one vertebra at a time. And exhale, roll it back down. Relax the jaw, the throat. Inhaling to roll up. As you exhale and roll back down, maybe feeling again that idea of drawing inward. Like we're knitting those tissues back together. Moving slowly with the breath, relaxing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Take it through one more round of bridge. And then from there, go ahead and hug your knees in, let your belly soften, rocking from side to side. And from there, we'll roll all the way to one side and come on up to hands and knees. And from here, as we come onto hands and knees, these are going to be a little bit more challenging core exercises, a little more challenging for the belly. So again, if you feel like as you do them, some of them it's hard to feel on yourself, you could even get a friend and say, hey, will you feel my diastasis for me and tell me if it's caving in? If it is, then the exercise is too intense. Just rewind to the previous one. But we'll start with cats and cows. So you're going to inhale for just that gentle arching of the back. Exhale to gently round through the back, moving at your own pace, and moving through a comfortable range of motion. And as we move through cat and cow, just feeling that gentle opening of the belly on the inhales, that drawing in of the belly on the exhales. Some people don't like cat and cow for diastasis because they feel like it's too much pulling or too much stretching onto the tissues. I kindly, respectfully disagree. That those tissues, the organs of the belly, they need to feel that sense of kind of opening in order to let go of the hold that they have on that rectus abdominis muscle, particularly our small intestine. That this cat and cow is a nice way to kind of open and stretch the belly to release some of those fascial tensions from the small intestine onto the rectus muscle, onto that central tissue. That's a lot. That's my soapbox for why cat and cow are good. And then go ahead and take it back into child's pose. Let your hips sink back, and let your belly soften, let your body drop down. Relax the shoulders, the upper back. Feel your breath draw deep and low into the body. And then from here, we're going to do another advanced move. We're going to do a forearm plank. So if this feels like it's too intense for your body or your belly, just stick with cats and cows, and you can kind of meet up with us when we get to other stuff, or you can just fast forward to the next part. But for those of us that are going to play with plank, where you can come down onto our forearms, or you can interlace your hands and have it more like dolphin arms or forearms parallel. And you're going to spread your fingers. Feel your forearms grounding into the earth, feel your heels reaching back, create length, and then find that pelvic brace. Think about drawing the belly button in. Make sure you can breathe. You can hang out here, or you can take one or both knees to the ground at any point that you need a break. Or if you want extra challenge, you can exhale, dip the right hip towards the earth. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, the left dips. Inhale, back up. So you can move with the breath if you want. You can hold steady. Relax the jaw, the face. And then when you're ready to come down, we're just going to slowly lower into Sphinx Pose. Soften the belly, lift through the heart. Fingers are spread, ground through the wrists. Relax the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Again, this is a stretch for the belly, and I say that's okay. It's okay to get a little bit of that forward stretch. If it feels too intense, then just take child's pose. That works too. And then from here, you can either just slowly lift up onto hands and knees, or for more challenge, gather that strength in the belly. Gather the strength in the thighs, tuck the toes, and inhale right back up into a plank. From here, maybe you want to see what a side plank feels like. You can stack the body. If you feel like, oh, I need more support, that top foot can hang out on the earth. This is a great time to feel the belly. If you feel that little divot in, then this is too intense. If it feels like the connective tissue is flat across, you're good to go. Breathing here, feel the lift coming from the bottom side of the belly. And then if you want, maybe switching sides. And again, you can have the top foot on the ground to help with support. Hi, Lotus. You want to do a side plank? It's not easy. Feel the lift coming from the lower belly. Make sure you're breathing. And then slowly come back, lower the knees, and walk it back to child's pose. Breathing deep and low into the back. Inhale, gently rise up to hands and knees, and then we're going to come back onto our backs for Shavasana. So if you want, you can have a bolster, a pillow, or a blanket roll under your knees. As you come onto your back, careful when you lower down, use your hands, go slow so that you're not overly engaging that six-pack muscle, or roll to one side and then roll over it. That's the better way to do it. And then from there, you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open if that's comfortable. Hands to the belly. And once again, invite your belly to soften. Feel the breath dropping down into the belly, expanding on the inhale, softening on the exhale. With the warmth of your hands on your belly, you can feel that little bit of energetic exchange. And you can send a little bit of gratitude to the tissues of your belly, knowing that they took you from a big belly to a small belly for whatever reason, whether it was pregnancy or otherwise. That's a pretty awesome thing for our bodies to be able to do, to be able to expand when we need more space, when we need more room. They can do that. And then when we don't need that room, they can contract back in. It's pretty cool. Breathing here, you can stay as long as you like. Since this was a shorter practice, usually we do a shorter Shavasana. And if you're using this as a postnatal practice, usually a short Shavasana might be all you can afford before the baby wakes up from their nap, which is what's going on with me right now. And when it's time to come out, you can wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, and now might be a nice time to do a little recheck. So if you want, you can feel again, get right on the skin, feel for the belly button. Get that sense of drawing inward, engage that bracing, that pelvic brace, even before you lift your head. So feeling everything draw in, and then maybe a little lift of the head, and then feeling. Does it feel any shorter? Does it feel like the two sides are coming together? Does it feel less deep, like the inside is kind of rising up? And you can just sort of feel. And that's a nice way to monitor your progress. Through exactly this kind of work, my diastasis has probably shrunk. It was from here to here, it was the whole length, and now it's like 3/4 of the way down, or 2/3 probably, 2/3 of the way down. It was about 3 fingers wide when I started, 3.5 maybe, and now it's more like 1 finger. So it's working. Woohoo! When you're ready, roll to one side, don't sit straight up. Come on up. And coming back to seated, hands to the heart, closing your eyes. Once again, taking that moment of gratitude for what our bodies can do, thanking them for being awesome. And namaste. And thank you so much for doing this video with me. I hope you're feeling great and strong and in love with your belly. Have a great day.